Today is the day that I write the greatest screenplay ever written with the help of AI. That or create one of the most cursed pieces of media that shouldn't exist. My bet's on the second, but let's see what happens. So basically, I've been watching AI for a while now, and the internet seems to be freaking out about the new Chat GPT-4, which is supposedly very advanced and gonna make us all lose our jobs. So, yay, technology. But people are using this new AI to do all sorts of things, plan out their lives, budget, make money. So I figured I'd use it to make bad entertainment. Or good entertainment, probably bad. Now, what's the goal here? It's simple. I'm going to try to get Chat GPT-4 to come up with a log line and a whole plot for a feature-length film, and then we're going to write a scene together and storyboard it with AI. Now, I have no idea if this is going to work. I don't know if any of this is going to be interesting, so if you're seeing this video now, that means it probably is at least a little bit. Now, let's write a masterpiece. Oscars, keep an eye out on me. Now, this is, as you can see, the very first time I'm using GPT-4. I just paid for it, so, you know, I'm losing money here. So, like I said, we're going to start small, then work our way up to a full scene. So I think the first thing is I need to get it to write me a log line. Hello, I'd like to write a movie with you today. Good intro. Now, like I said, this is supposedly one of the most advanced AIs out there, so I'm expecting big things. Complex emotional development in this story. Okay, now I'm going to give it some parameters for what it has to include in our film, make it a little bit more challenging. We can't just have some open-ended AI flick. I mean, come on. Okay. The movie should be an emotional drama. Let's see if we can push emotion well. With 3 main characters. I'll say one of the characters must be a little bit homicidal. Just a little. Let's see what it does with that. Just a little bit homicidal. What a great way to describe a character. The film should be in 3 acts and end with a big emotional scene. I couldn't think of a good word. Between all main characters. Yep. Okay, so I feel like I was vague enough yet not vague enough for it to have something to work with there. I also edited it. I made it so it asked for the log line and for just the whole scene breakdown. Let's see if they're capable of doing this. Oh, look at it. It's giving it to us. We're getting a log line and we already have a title. Broken Bonds. A little on the nose, but okay. Now I'm going to use Midjourney for the visuals, so I'm going to take this logline, plug it into Midjourney, and use that for the next section here. And if you don't know, Midjourney is an AI that makes images, so I'm covering the context of the video. But first, look at this. It's giving me the entire act. Act 1, the reunion. Act 2, the unraveling. This is going to be quite a film. Title, Broken Bonds. Logline, in a small, tight-knit community, 3 estranged childhood friends are forced to confront their shared dark past when one of them develops homicidal tendencies, leading to a heart-wrenching emotional showdown that will change their lives forever. So before I even read the act breakdown, my guess is that it's a film about 3 friends, one of them becomes homicidal, and then it ends with him probably killing one of them. That's what I'm guessing they mean by heart-wrenching emotional showdown, is a homicidal, violent showdown. To the act breakdown. Act 1. Reunion. Introduce the 3 main characters. Emma, the empathetic and nurturing social worker. Jack, the ambitious but troubled businessman. And Sarah, the reclusive artist with a hidden dark side. Something tells me Sarah is the homicidal tendency person. We'll see. Emma receives an urgent call to return to her hometown after her mother falls ill. Ill with what? Upon arrival, she learns that Jack and Sarah still live in the community and have drifted apart over the years. Oh, so it's one of these returning to your hometown, reconnecting with your old high school friends type of stories, with homicidal tendencies thrown in the mix. As Emma reconnects with Jack and Sarah, she senses that they all carry deep emotional wounds, vague but good, from their past that have never been fully addressed. As they spend time together, tensions rise and buried secrets begin to surface. Okay, Act 1 kind of sells me a little bit. It's very vague, but the story's there. They probably stole the story from something, but whatever. Act 2, the unraveling. Sarah's artistic talent is revealed to be fueled by her violent impulses. She's only a good artist because of her violent impulses. And she is now struggling to control her homicidal tendencies. We've all been there, girl. As the 3 friends dig deeper into their share... So I love this. Act 1's pretty normal. And then I imagine Act 2 just begins with Sarah, like, drawing a painting and, like, muttering about murder to herself or something. As the 3 friends dig deeper into their shared history, they discover the tragic event that drove them apart years ago. Whoa, a twist! The accidental death of a fourth friend, which they all feel responsible for. Something tells me Sarah feels more responsible for this death. Sarah's homicidal urges become increasingly difficult to manage, resulting in a string of brutal but anonymous murders around the town? Emma and Jack grow suspicious of Sarah and start to investigate. I thought this was going to be the story of them discovering that Sarah actually murdered their friend that drove them apart years ago. Did not think she would go on a rampage and become a serial killer. That's, it really took the homicidal tendency thing and ran with it. Let's see how this ends. Act 3. Confrontation and resolution. Emma and Jack uncover evidence that implicates Sarah in the murders. What's the evidence? But they also discover that she has been privately grappling with mental health issues and trauma. They're like, she did murder multiple people in our hometown, but she's going through a lot. Realizing the gravity of the situation, I don't think they do. They confront Sarah in an emotionally charged scene. They acknowledge their shared guilt over the past and express their love and support for one another. Wait, you love and support the person who just murdered all these people? I guess it's a story about hope for homicidal people. The film concludes with Sarah turning herself in. Okay, so it actually doesn't end with murder. That's cool. It just says murder in the middle. My favorite sitcom. Jack and Emma vow to help her through the healing process. I would leave her in prison. The three friends accept their lives will never be the same. Well, yeah, one of you is a murderer, a serial killer. But they are determined to move forward together, bound by their unbreakable bond. So they're still friends with her? They're like, we accept you for who you are now that you're a homicidal maniac. Before we had issues, when you were just the artsy, quiet girl. Okay, so that's our plot. Honestly, I would give it a C minus, maybe. It's better than I thought it would be. I thought it would be way more on the nose and way more ridiculous, but this is actually something that you could write into like an almost okay Hallmark Channel movie, which is a start. I just love that it's called Broken Bonds, and it really is a story of homicide and a story of friendship. So I guess the real thing to do now is to write and read a scene with the AI. I think out of this, the scene that makes sense for it to write would be the confrontation scene, correct? I'm going to ask it to write the confrontation, and we'll see if it's capable of dialogue. Alright, let's see if it can write dialogue. Oh, yes! Interior Sarah's art studio, night. It's writing the scene. I'm so excited to see what this is. I'm telling you right now, though, just with a glance at the dialogue here, I think it's going to need some touch-ups. Interior Sarah's art studio. The room is dimly lit, cluttered with canvases and paint supplies. Sarah sits in the corner, trembling, her eyes filled with fear and remorse. Emma and Jack stand at the entrance, taking in the scene. Emma. Sarah, we know what you've done. We're here because we care about you and we want to help you. Jack. We've always been friends, Sarah. We should have been there for you when it all started. Sarah looks up, tears streaming down her face. Sarah. I never meant for this to happen. I couldn't control it anymore. I'm so sorry. Emma slowly approaches Sarah, extending a comforting hand. Emma. We all have our demons, Sarah. It's not your fault. We share the blame for what happened in the past, and we've all been running from it. Jack nods. We can't change the past, but we can face it together. We're here for you now, and we'll be here for you every step of the way. Sarah hesitates before taking Emma's hand. She looks from Emma to Jack, her eyes pleading. Sarah. Will you help me make things right? I don't want to hurt anyone else. Emma. Of course, Sarah. We'll stand by you and do whatever it takes to make things right. Jack walks over and puts his hand on Sarah's shoulder, completing their connection. Weird way to put that. Jack. We're in this together. It's time to heal. The three friends share a long, emotional embrace. That's good. As the weight of their past lift from their shoulders and they prepare to face an uncertain but hopeful future. Not too hopeful for Sarah, though. She's admitting to multiple homicides again. Fade out. Wow. The emotion in that was almost emotion. It's pretty amazing. Very basic scene, but better than I thought it would be. It at least made sense. I feel like I wanted to write me one more scene from the film so I really get a full feeling for the vibe of this thing before I pitch it, to ABC. So what's another good scene? The beginning of Act 2, the unraveling. I want to see the scene where Sarah's artistic talent is revealed to be fueled by her violent impulses. Interior, Sarah's art studio, day. The room is filled with natural light, highlighting the vibrant and evocative artwork covering the walls. Sarah stands in front of an unfinished canvas, her hands covered in paint, her eyes focused on her work. Emma and Jack enter the studio. Ooh, I didn't even know they'd be in this scene. mesmerized by the intensity and beauty of Sarah's creations. She must be some homicidal artist. They exchange glances, impressed by the depth of her talent. Emma. These are incredible, Sarah. Jack. I had no idea you were this gifted. Sarah continues to paint, barely acknowledging their presence. Oh, she's in it. Her brushstrokes are quick, almost aggressive, as she adds more layers to the canvas. I'm going to stop here and say this scene's already way better than the other one. It's a lot more interesting, and the action lines actually add to it. This is interesting. Sarah, gritting her teeth. It's the only way I can cope with everything. Emma and Jack take a closer look at the paintings, noticing the unsettling theme that ties them together. Dark, violent imagery, juxtaposed with serene, beautiful landscapes. Jack. Sarah, why the obsession with violence in your art? Sarah pauses, her hand shaking as she sets down her paintbrush. Her eyes well up with tears and she looks away, unable to face them. Sarah. It's inside me. Okay, bad word choice, but we'll continue. It's inside me, the darkness. It's always been there, growing stronger. My art is the only way to keep it at bay. Emma, concerned, that's good, she should be concerned, places a hand on Sarah's shoulder, trying to comfort her. Emma, Sarah, if you're struggling, you don't have to go through this alone. We're your friends, let us help you. Sarah looks back at her friends, her eyes filled with fear. Sarah, I don't know if I can be helped. I'm scared of what I might become if I lose control. The room falls silent as Emma and Jack exchanged worried glances, realizing the severity of the situation. Determined to support their friend, they stand by Sarah's homicidal side, I added that, ready to face the darkness together. So wait, they're like, there's clear warning signs here that something bad's about to happen, and we're ready to go head on into that bad thing. Alright, like I said, that scene was actually a lot more interesting than the first one. Still, some rewrites needed, but like I said, let me know in the comments if you want to see a part 2 to this where I finish the full script and submit it to actual festivals, because I think you're allowed to do that. They'll think it was written by a really talented 4th grader. So there you go. I think Broken Bonds is going to be the next big hit film in Hollywood. Can't you hear the confidence in my voice? What did we learn from this? AI has already come quite a long way. If you've seen my old video I did about 8 months ago, I tried to write a movie with a chat bot, and it did not work anywhere close to as well as this did. And I imagine this is just going to keep getting better rapidly. So what are the implications? I don't know. Oh, that's amazing. So it just wrote the murder scene, and then Chat GPT-4 told me that it thinks that this scene is too much for its own censors. It said this might violate our policy.